What's up, you guys? This is Godson. Welcome back to the channel. I have on the stream here TSG and Najif. So if you guys could introduce yourself really quickly, tell me about your channel. What do you guys focus on, or where you coming from, or what are you guys about? I know you're all Illuvium players, or we are Illuvium members, but we're just waiting for the game to come out. Just real quick, 5 seconds. Tell me you guys background and everything, and we'll get this started.
You can go fast, man.
Yeah, Najif,
Yeah,
go ahead. Oh, and by the way, Najif, I've actually been watching your channel the most, and I mean, man, I love your channel, but your character does no justice for you. You look so much better than the character, the avatar.
Oh, yeah.
The avatar. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I tried to get it as close as possible. And like a lot of people think like I made that to like hide my face or anything, but I'm not trying to hide. I just I wanted to be a little different, so I went with the avatar.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, I mean, just my quick background, I guess, in this space. I got into, or when COVID came and we all got into like lockdown mode, that's when I started like looking into like investments and stuff, and I came across Bitcoin. Yeah, and then soon after that, I actually came across, altcoins, got into Sandbox at 8 cents. So that kind of started my way up. I found Axie Infinity and then realized right away, gamefi, which I don't even sure that word was out yet, but I realized that was going to be the future. And then I caught the Illuvium, the first trailer, right when that came out, and right away I knew that was going to be something big. So I picked up 5 coins on the ICO or whatever you call it when it first came out. So I think I got them around $78 a piece. And then I wish I got a lot more than that. I was just throwing a little bit in there. But yeah, and then I got into staking, kept looking more and more into the game. And when I realized Illuvium was going to be a big thing, I started up a YouTube channel. And then here I am. Still growing. I'm still pretty small, but I'm enjoying it right now.
Wow, so this is like your first YouTube channel then, huh? And oh my gosh, 8 cents. Man, that was really good. That's really good. Wish I got in on that.
Yeah, well, what I failed to mention is that I sold at $1.50.
Yeah.
I got I got an 18x.
That's huge, man.
That's really good.
Then it went up even more. So
yeah.
I'm always looking for opportunities like that, man. So if you guys know anything, let me know. But I think gaming, crypto, tokens and stuff, those are probably gonna blow up pretty soon. Okay, so TSG, go ahead.
Yeah, man. So I'm TSG, and legitimately, I just make videos on everything Illuvium. I don't have a niche per se. I don't just do one thing. I kind of just cover whatever I want to, really, which I think is pretty cool. How I got into Illuvium, essentially, like, what was it? December of 2020, I started investing. So, like, when COVID hit March 2020, around whatever it was, March 2020, that's it. Similar to Najif, like, I kind of realized, oh, man, there was a huge opportunity here to invest, but I didn't have any capital. So I spent the rest of that year building capital and learning about, how do I make an account, this, that, and just set myself up. And December 2020, I just started investing, and I was pretty much all in stocks, and I had like a 5% allocation to crypto. And since then, it's kind of I went from like 5% to 10%, 10% to 15, and now it's like, I think now it's like 90% crypto, and I still have 10% stocks. But and essentially, I just went. As I went more into crypto, it was, again, just standard Bitcoin, Ethereum. And I don't even know how it happened, honestly. It was like just luck or the universe or something. I got recommended play to earn games. I wasn't even looking for it. I just got recommended it, and I just clicked on it. It was like top 5. I don't even know what it was, to be honest. But I got interested in the idea. I was like, this is a dope-ass concept. And I just looked up top play to earn games or upcoming play to earn games, because the ones that were out looked pretty trash. And at the top of the list of every video was like Illuvium. And I was like, yo, what is this game? And then I just looked into it. And then, yeah, man, that was that. I don't even know why I decided to invest in it or anything like that, to be honest. I kind of just saw it, and I saw the opportunity. I think it was the tokenomics. And once I learned about the tokenomics, I was like, yo, this seems amazing. And just the more I spent, like the more time I spent into it, the more I was like, yo, I underinvested by a lot. And even now I'm like, I'm still underinvested. And that's like the majority of my portfolio. And I'm like, I still feel like I need to put more.
Yeah.
So that was how I kind of got into the space. And as for the YouTube thing, I kind of just decided why not. And I hope I'm adding value to people. So I think I am. So I think I made the right decision. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll just give you the short version of mine. I got in,
Yeah.
really, I think a lot of people got in because of Dogecoin. Dogecoin started blowing up. I think it was in like the very early of 2020 or 2021. I think Dogecoin
Something
started
like that.
blowing
Yeah.
up, and that really brought a lot of people to recognize, hey, crypto's getting big again. Get into Dogecoin. Once Dogecoin went up to the highest, I think it was like 70 cents or something, then, started going down. And I was looking for other stuff to get into. And I just said, oh, let me just see what is the top games in crypto. I just didn't even know that gaming was possible in crypto. I just typed it in, and I did
Yeah.
see like, hey, the one of the top games was Illuvium. So I jumped into the website, looked around, and I was like, what is liquidity and what is all this mining, and
Yeah.
you know what I mean? It was just like a wake up call, like so much stuff is going on in crypto, and I've been on the sideline. I didn't even know
Yeah.
about this stuff, and people making so much money. I got out of the stock market too. I was doing Robinhood, and I did allocate, I think, almost 100% of everything into crypto now because it went so
Yeah.
high. I think it was 2019 or 2020, really high, and then it started going back down. I'm like, you know what? I'm back where I started. So tried something new, got into
Yeah.
crypto, and it's been going great ever since. And I think the biggest thing for me with crypto gaming is because I think it's something new that you can't just jump into at the moment. And I think this is
Mhm.
advantageous for a lot of new players and a lot of new YouTubers to get into this because, when a really popular game comes out or when something really cool comes out, people jump on it super fast. And it's like, it's a really like aggressive, hostile market to get into if you're covering the game. And it gets so
Mhm.
saturated so fast. And
Yeah.
with Illuvium, it's not even out yet, but there's a large following, and I feel like this is perfect for new people. So
Yeah.
I wanted to get a game that's new and that wasn't saturated. So Illuvium's the way to go, and I feel it's going to be a really popular game. Just when we have enough exposure and enough people learn about
Yeah.
this game, it's going to be so awesome. So
Yeah.
with that,
So,
guys, go ahead.
can I just jump in? I want to ask. I want to ask. When you guys both got into Illuvium, were you guys like, what kind of brought you guys into Illuvium? Was it the investment side, the financial side of things, or what were you guys actually like, or are you guys actually keen on playing the game, like, and spending time playing the game? Like, obviously, there's a bit of both, but which is the one that kind of really brought you in and actually got you to invest that time and money into it?
You can go first.
Yeah, I'd say I always liked playing games. I wouldn't say I'm like any kind of real crazy gamer. But I've always enjoyed playing games, and I just got to a point in my life where I was just like, playing games is kind of a waste of time. I was like, I could be doing better things with gaming, or I mean with my time than playing
Yeah.
games. And then I got into crypto, and the more I looked into that, the more I liked crypto. And then when you find games that you can earn crypto, just putting that together was just like the perfect storm for me. Once I caught on to that, I was like, I'm going all in. The first thing I saw was sand, which was I think it was January 2020. And then even when I found like the sandbox, I was like, all right, so this is what the future is going to be. But I didn't realize how close it actually was. And then I hopped onto Axie Infinity and made some money, did some scholarships, and then yeah, I just see Illuvium as being, the future.
Yep. Do you see any similar? Sorry, man. I feel like I'm kind of just running this, but I'm just super curious. Uh, like, do you see any similarity? Like, what similarities do you see between your experience in Axie and what's kind of bubbling in Illuvium?
It's just what you see everywhere else. Like Axie, majority, like the vast majority, were hopping into that game to make some money,
Yep.
and it's just not sustainable. With Illuvium, it looks like a game that I would honestly play without having any earnings attached to it at all. And I think a lot of people are gonna just see it more, like, not right away, but in the future, people are gonna see it as a game that they just want to play.
Yeah.
And just the fact that when they want to leave, they can sell some of their assets and they won't go into it to make money. They'll go into it because it looks like a great game. It's competitive and it's a AAA game.
Yeah. Because that's why I was asking the question. I was trying to gauge, like, are we going through towards an axie route where everyone's kind of just jumping in for the money, or like even us three, are we kind of thinking of it as, like you say, oh, it's a game that I'd like to play, and it's just dope that I can sell the assets at some point if I decide to leave. And I was just trying to gauge that from you guys. But yeah, so, sorry, man, you can continue.
You know what? Now that I think about it, Axie probably was the first thing that hinted me towards crypto gaming. I just was in a Discord and I was seeing so many people excited about a game. And this game like had so many diverse players from different countries and stuff. I was curious, like, what is going on with this Axie? I looked at the game and it didn't really impress me. I understand the mechanics and everything 3x3. I've seen a lot of, side scroller games that had this kind of mechanic like Final Fantasy type, 3v3s or something. So, when I came across Illuvium, I'm like, wow, the website even looks dope. And then I started investing into it. And it's been I would say one of the biggest investments I did was Illuvium. Getting in like around the $400 range. So sad I didn't get into earlier. And it was weird because it was first Axie, then Illuvium, then Sandbox that I learned about. Sandbox is really low. I think it was like $2 or $3. And it's so strange for me that Illuvium jumped up to $500 so fast. I'm like, this has to be the best game coming out. I mean, look at the price of it. But I guess that dealt with the market cap or whatever. But yeah, it was such a really cool and interesting thing just to learn about. But yeah, Illuvium definitely has stood the test of time of being my best investment because of the returns I'm getting and because of like the stability of it, the community. So much stuff is going on. But we didn't want to like focus on our introductions. We wanted to actually get into some questions here about some upcoming stuff that I want to talk to you guys about. Because if you guys know, Andrew released on Twitter, I believe it was the land sale promo, right? I believe that's what it was. It was a trailer. So let's talk about let's talk about the land sale coming up. I just want to get you guys' questions here. Hold on, second quarter, what timeline? Yeah, so like, what do you guys think about the timeline of the release of the land sale? And what do you think is going to happen? Because I know Andrew or someone in the announcement hinted at a PvP, and the land sale's coming up. So I'm hoping I'm hoping it's in May. Don't hate me, but I'm traveling right at the end of April, and I don't want to miss this. So we'll just have to see. I think it's up to the proposal or the governors or whatever. But what do you guys speculate what's coming up with the land, and how do you guys see that going?
I think they're actually going to take their time releasing this. I know they keep saying a week, a couple weeks, but they've also said early on that there's not going to be any earning mechanics until the open beta comes out, because they want the timelines to match up. So even if they were to launch or have the land sale next week, it would probably let us play it as a free-to-play version, and then it would just get reset to 0 when the open beta comes. So I don't think they're in any rush to get it out. No one wants to be playing it for 3 months for free and then just have it reset on us. So I think they're going to get it as close to the open beta as possible.
Just to confirm, did they confirm that about the earnings? Like, we're not going to be earning in the beta, right? But we are allowed to record, right? Is that what I heard? Someone mentioned we can record because the gameplay has already been out there with Grant and Kieran, and they've been showcasing it. So I might be wrong, but I think someone asked, "Hey, can we record this?" Since it's the beta and it's already been out there in the public.
So for Illuvium 0, like what Najif is saying, Najif, right? I want to make sure I get that right. Yeah. For the Illuvium 0, I think we won't be earning and won't be like doing anything official until the open beta comes out. As for sharing the private beta, I believe from what I've been seeing and like the conversations, I think that they're going to be okay, and they're encouraging like posting as much of the content as possible because to them it's free marketing. So I think once people get access to that private beta, they will be encouraged to be like making videos about it. But as for earning on Illuvium Zero, I think Najif is right. I think we're gonna have to wait till the open beta comes out so everything lines up. Yeah.
Okay. So I guess I just wanted to talk to you guys about the match that we did see. Not sure if you guys covered it or not, but the match with Grant and Kieran. You know, I was really like studying what they were doing. I'd pause a video and I'm like, okay, how does this work? So I was looking and I'm like, you know what? This is how I see survival going. I see that when you start the match, you're basically trying to pair an illuvium with the enemy side on what you feel could counter that illuvial. And that's all I saw. That's all I'm thinking, like that's basically what survival is. Do you guys see it differently? Is there any more strategy that you guys saw with their match? And just, you know, your overall opinions on how that went.
Yeah, I'll jump in here. Because I like, have you any of you guys have had order battler experience before?
Yes.
Oh, you have?
But not like this. I had Clash of Clans where you just, you know, you put the
Oh,
characters
right.
in and they, you know, they go off on their own. But
Okay.
placement is key with their auto
Right.
battler. But this one's a little different. You know, I'm thinking it's more like countering other illuvials.
Right, because this is because I've never had any auto battle experience, and so on one of my videos I had Frobe and Zeptal, and they're like two professional TFT players, and they kind of just taught me like the basics of auto battlers, what to look for in that. And I think the thing that they were saying is like the most important thing to look for is, I'll try and remember if I can summarize the 5 things, was like look for the biggest threat on the board, so the biggest damage dealer or the rogue, whatever you perceive as the biggest threat, that's what you have to look for. Number 2 is like to look for the board itself and look for like a weak spot. Like, so if they've got everything clumped on one side or they've got squishier people on one side, always try to look for the weak side and then kind of go in at it from that point. And then we've got other things from like, oh, if you have a rogue coming in, you need to like welcome it. These small tactics are very, very like little. Did they say you need to like counter it by type or anything like that? Like countering their synergies, from what I've heard from Frobe and Zeptal, isn't like the biggest priority. What you should be doing is like you said, placement is probably the biggest thing, and working on your own synergies is probably the biggest thing. So I think that's gonna take a lot of people some time to get used to, because we're so used to Pokemon, where it's, oh, we see fire, we go water. But I don't think the same thinking applies here. And again, I haven't played any order battles. This is what I've heard and like spoken to like the professionals about. But yeah, so that's my take on that.
Yeah,
Do you guys agree, disagree?
I'd say first off, the survival mode is going to be completely different from the player versus player. You know, I think for the survival mode, it really is seeing what's on the board and matching up one-on-one, or you know, like Godson said over here. There's going to be a lot more strategy when you're going player versus player, and you don't see their illuvials right away when you're placing yours. So, in my personal opinion, I think survival mode will get old pretty quick. You know, I can't see that as being something you want to play every day for years. Yeah. I think it will be something to help you learn the game a little bit and get you introduced to it. And then I think most people, especially people who are competitive, are just going to go to the player versus player.
Yeah, that's why I think the concept of them introducing a PvP part of survival is going to kind of like extend the lifespan of survival. If they can find like a way to make it competitive, where it could be me and you seeing who gets a higher wave, that could incentivize more people to stick around. If it's just you against AI forever, like, nah, man, no one's going to do that.
Well, I just I wanted to maybe play devil's advocate a little bit here and talk about how I see this going. For me, one of the biggest things that I look at in survival is, I think, was it Andrew? Someone said that they're going to try and introduce a 1v1. That's really interesting for me, because if I have a type of alluvial that I want to test out against another type, this is the mechanism to do it. I think it's really like going to be like a laboratory, going into the laboratory to test these illuvials out. And I don't really know. Do you guys know about the PvP aspect? Is every match of a PvP going to be have a wager on it? Because I think that would scare a lot of, maybe the vast majority of the community that probably doesn't have a lot of money to go in and place bets like that, or play for ETH. Whereas the survival, I think there is an earning potential in survival, isn't there? So we don't know how it's
being
going to
discussed. Being discussed.
There's two different PvP game modes. There's the Leviathan Arena, and then there's ranked gameplay.
Right.
So in the Leviathan Arena, that's where you go with just whatever you have, and then you bet some ETH on it. The ranked mode, whatever, all the illuvials are pretty much neutralized. So if you have a ram fee and you go into ranked mode, you can use it as a ram fire. They want to make ranked mode as like a level playing field. The Leviathan Arena is for the big whales who want to go in there and get like your true rankings. But the ranked, which actually there's a different name for it. I forget what it is. But the
Ascendant Arena.
Ascendant Arena. Yeah, that's more like a level playing field for anybody.
So the rank, they're going to have predetermined or already made illuvials for you to pick from, right? Or are we bringing our own?
No, your own.
Bring your own. Okay.
Your own. And I think with Leviathan as well, I think, again, I might be wrong. I don't think I am, because I think marketing-wise it makes sense. I think a lot of people aren't, or they're forgetting, or just kind of like not even looking at it. I think with Leviathan, I don't think it's absolutely necessary to wager. So, for example, someone like myself who's going to want to go in and test my skills, like you say, in an actual true ranking form to see like the stats of the illuvials and whatnot, I think we're going to be able to participate in that Leviathan Arena as well without having to put money on it, just so we can use our actual stats, actual ranks, just to actually test ourselves. So if you don't want to be wagering money, you don't need to. Like, I don't think they're going to force you to do that.
Right.
It makes no sense for them to do that.
Right. Okay. So moving along here, I just wanted to talk about the, maybe you guys saw this or maybe you didn't, but I felt like when Kieran and Grant played, I noticed a difference in their deck and the I guess the battle that they were doing. It seemed a little different. I think they might have nerfed some characters or buffed some or did something. So this actually changed my tier list. And I think Furby came on my channel and mentioned about my tier list. Now, if you guys don't know the exact name of the illuvial, that's fine. You could just say what it looks like. But what do you guys think is maybe the top 2 or top 3 illuvials that are OP or that you need in your deck in order to be good at survival?
See me wide in the hoverboard over there.
She already knows.
Yeah, she's telling us what her favorites are.
I'll tell you my 3 right now. I think it's not Alfie, but the stage 3 or stage 2 of Alfie, the shrimp, pistol shrimp, and then the snail. Snail, I forgot his name too. Cephas. And who else? I think, gosh, I want to say Titanor. Is it Titanor?
Yeah,
those 3. I think those are going to be like the top, OP characters you have to have in your deck.
I think that's everyone, and most people are leaning towards those. I think from what I've seen, Cephas, definitely the snail, it just does so much, man. Cephas, I think the second one is actually kind of slept on, but from what I've been watching and learning, that Cuculus, I think it's called, or as Frobe calls it, Couscous, the big bird with like the flappy wings, the tail, because like it has like it's an air, so it's got like a dodge mechanic to it.
A fighting too, right? It's fighting.
I forget. I'm not 100% sure, but I know it's got a dodge thing to it. So those 2. As for the third one, I don't know. I'm not sure. I have to think about it. But those 2 are definitely, I think, are going to be pretty. Otherwise, yeah, the Duelith or the Titanor, that's their givens. Oh, Adorius. That's the next one. Sorry, man. Adorius.
Reindeer,
that healer?
Right? The reindeer. Yeah, I thought they nerfed him. I thought they nerfed him for the match because I was like, wait a minute. I saw that guy so strong on some of the replays. He was like healing 3 people. And I think they might have nerfed him. Or maybe this is just one of the characters that they had to target first. Get out the damage dealer, get out the healers, and then focus on everyone else.
Yeah. No, Adorius, because that thing heals like everything. It's just so BS, man.
So the more I learn about Andrew and how he's like creating the gameplay, the more I think like there's going to be a lot of time spent on just balancing the characters.
Yeah.
So, you know, you look at something now and it looks OP and it's going to get nerfed.
Yeah.
And if something looks like it sucks right now, it's going to get buffed up. I'm pretty confident in the whole team, especially, you know, Andrew with the gameplay that, or not, sorry, Andrew, Aaron with the gameplay that everything's going to be pretty even. You know, I think it's going to be pretty balanced.
Yeah, and you know,
I know it's not the exciting answer.
This was one of the things that I said.
Truth.
This is one of the things I said in my tier list video. I said that I don't think anyone's trash. Like I saw a level, was it a Ramfi level 1 or you know the tier 1 going after these you know tier 2 illuvials. I'm like, wow, he's taking that thing out and he's doing really good damage. I think they're gonna have like these tier 1s. I forgot the anteater one, but I feel like they might introduce some new illuvials in the future where that character might be good against this, you know, new illuvial. So I don't think there's any trash illuvials. I think it's all about composition, how you set these guys up, and your class.
I don't know if you guys, I don't know if you guys saw the picture, like the meme of because Kieran Grant had 35 mastery points left, and that's the exact amount to get an Atlas. And they're saying that if he had got that Atlas on that last round just to tank that little extra few hits, he would have won.
Yeah.
So even talking about, the stage 1s, like tier 1 stage 1s, that could have won him $1 million.
Oh,
like,
are you talking about Grant? Grant?
Yeah.
Grant,
yeah,
because
Grant,
if you go back and you look at that match, I swear to you, I forgot who it was, but the very last hit, someone got a crit. Oh, I think it was like 135 damage on his illuvial, and that took it out. And that shouldn't have happened, but he got a crit on it, and that cost him the whole match. I was like, wow, that is insane.
That's why, if he just had like the Atlas that attacked one hit, it would have been.
Yeah. Well, so you mentioned the mastery points, and if you think about it, the balancing is actually going to be done by the mastery points rather than just the illuvials. Because you can, I think I made myself a little spreadsheet for this. I think a stage 1 tier 5 has, I think, 75 mastery points, which is also the same as a tier 1 stage 3.
Yeah.
So depending on the tier, it's really more looking at the mastery points when you're looking to, you know, for balancing. Because obviously a Ramfire is going to, you know, dominate some of the lower tier ones, but the lower tiers will have less mastery points to get on the board. So you can think about it that way too.
Right.
Yeah. So I think you're right. I think they're going to balance it via mastery points as well as like the actual damage dealt and things like that. So I think it's going to be, to balance it, they need to find a balance of those two things, which like you said, I think Aaron's going to kill that anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, next question. There's been talk about survival PvP. Can I ask you guys, how do you think that's going to play out? What do you think that's going to be like? What are your opinions and, you know, your speculation about that? Because I think it's going to be, I don't know, we might be teamed up with people, you know, or, maybe it might be a point system, you know, or something like that. I'm not sure, but I'm just curious to know what you guys think.
I think it's going to be, I think it's going to legitimately be exactly what we saw. I think it's going to be like, yo, Godson, if I feel like I want to like have a PvP against you, we'll like sync up and we'll go round for round, see who gets further. And that's legitimately it. Just the same way that they've kind of done it now, but make it an official way of doing so. Instead of like having to wait around, we could play it simultaneously.
Do you think they're gonna have like do you think it's gonna be like, you know, your turn and then there's a spectator, like I'm spectating you play, and you know that might be a little long, you know?
Yeah, no. Because what I think is gonna be is it's gonna be we'll both start wave 1 at the same time because we both have the 60 seconds. Say for example, I finish before you, I just have to wait for you to be done because they have a minute. Right. Each round has a minute max time anyway. So it should be we're progressing together, and then just once you lose, they let me know. I'm just assuming I'm going to win. But once you lose, they let me know that, like, yo, you beat him. Do you want to keep playing? Something like that. That's my assumption.
Probably
Because
with
just watching them, you could.
no money involved, right? Because I could see people like disconnecting the internet or rage quitting or something.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if you're down for the money, I'm down too. But yeah,
yeah, go ahead.
that's my thought. That's what I think.
You think the same, Jeef?
Daddy.
Yeah, honestly, I haven't really given it much thought.
Daddy.
If they do it, I think it's just going to be. I mean, we know all of these brothers are very competitive, so I think they're just looking for a way to make it competitive because they know that's what a lot of people are looking for. So I can see that working, but I haven't given it too much thought, to be honest.
Yeah, because it's like for me, I love the competition, and it's the same. Like when I see them competing like that in a survival mode, yeah, the opportunity is so obvious that like what we were saying before, if you're just playing survival against AI forever, you're gonna be bored, man. Whereas if you can play like against AI but against someone,
Yeah.
that competitiveness is like, nah, I can beat you, I can get further, and you're an idiot. Like, you know what I mean? It's just that fun, like it's just like it's such a fun thing to do and it's such a simple kind of concept. So to me, it seems like a no-brainer. And again, I might be wrong, but I really don't think I am. I think
Okay.
that's what I think that's the approach they're gonna take.
Yeah. So let me just. I got two more questions here about.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Illuvium Zero. Where do you guys see that going? Are you guys going for like the bigger tier? Are you going to use it once you get the land? Are you going to use it for yourself? Are you going to sell everything on the market? And you know what? That was so weird. They were talking about they said the fuel in there is going to be like an ERC20
Yeah.
token. So that is that like it's not like SILV2 or anything, is it? It's going to be an ERC token of fuel. I'm not sure how that works. Do you guys know
Yeah,
anything that I don't? Or
I don't know a lot about it, but if it is an ERC20, you should be able to pull it off and trade it on the open market, just like SILV2 is. Yeah, I haven't heard much on that, so I don't really know for sure. But that would make things a little more interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna claim ignorance there as well. I don't understand 100% how I'm not a technical dude, so I'm not 100% sure how that's gonna work out. But what are your plans for land? Like, are you guys looking to buy? Are you guys looking to buy multiple? What tiers? Like what Godson's asking. Are you guys like planning on working them, flipping them? What's the thought process behind your moves? Both of you guys.
So I'm hoping and planning to get myself a tier 2 land. I'm also going 50-50 with my brother on another piece of land, probably a tier 1. And then I plan on playing 1. My brother's going to play 1. And the one thing I like about it is that, like, it's going to be on your phone. You can take it with you anywhere. Yeah. If I want to play the main game, I'm going to have to be, at home at my computer. But anywhere else I am, I can hop onto that game. So I do plan on playing it.
Yeah.
And my brother, the same thing. And then we'll get our fuel. Probably end up just sending it to the main game because I heard we will be able to do that. And then using that to fund the main game, either for myself or any scholarships that I run.
Yeah. Fair.
so
what are your plans?
I'm learning a lot about Illuvium Zero, and I'm worried that because they did mention that you could choose how you want to use the land. You could use it like passively, or you could be more active. There's so much elaboration and so many intricacies with Illuvium Zero that I'm worried it might take a lot of my time if I really want to get the full potential out of this thing. But I did see they said that, a lot of people, if they do this right, they can start flipping it. So I'm thinking like, well, wait a minute. On day 2, that's probably the best time to get in. Can I get a bunch of tier 1s and flip those? Because they said what people should do is like when they get their tier 1, build it up and then sell it on the market. I'm like, well, yeah, that's genius. I don't know how this is going to go because it all depends on the price of the land. I want to get a tier 4, but if that's impossible, if that's impossible to get a tier 4, then maybe a tier 3 and then get a tier 2 for my wife because I want her to start playing too. Like just as a passive income type of thing, because they said you're getting 5% allocation to yourself or something like that, 5% allocated to landowners or something. So I think that's really big. If we have millions of players coming into the game, I think it's a smart move to grab a tier 1 or a tier 2. I'm trying for the tier 4, but I think maybe that's not the best maybe that's not a smart move because the tier 4 could go, 50,000 or something like that. But that might be even better just to get a bunch of tier 2s, because of the randomness of the elements that you're getting. You might just get the element that you want, whereas if you get one tier 4, you're going to be stuck with like all hydrogen or something. I don't know if I want that, but I'm leaning more towards getting more than just one big one. But also on the flip side, they said if you get a higher tier land, then that's better for your scanning, like scanning new skins, scanning illuvials. So I think they probably balanced it out. So if you're getting a tier 4, you're getting your money's worth. Perhaps we'll just have to see.
Yeah, I was gonna say don't forget that this is only 20,000 plots out of a total 100,000. So you want to be a little more conservative on the first land sale, and then if you see its value, then you can go bigger on the second or third land sale.
The only thing I'm worried about that is this is the first land sale that we have, and I'm worried like if we get a next one, when we have millions of players coming in, the prices probably won't be where they are in this first one. So like a tier 4 could go for
kicking in
50,000, but on the next one there's going hundreds of thousands. So I'm like, this is my chance to get a tier 4. This is it right here.
Yeah, that's true. And I saw that happen firsthand. Like the reason I bought sand at 8 cents is because I wanted to buy a land. And land at that time was like $500. And if I would have got that land, it would have 30x.
And look at Gala. I don't think I could ever have a founder's node. Gala's nodes is just too high for me. No way. So I don't know how land will do with Illuvium, but I think this is the best time to get in. We'll have to see.
That is a good point. Yeah, you could miss out forever. So
that was the thing that I was like, oh man, because honestly, I wasn't actually even gonna get land. I'll be completely straight with you guys. I was like, all right, I'll skip land. I'm not that interested in this kind of gameplay. I'll kind of skip out on it and see what it is. And then I started doing making content, and I was like, actually, it'd be pretty stupid of me as a content creator to not make content about this. So I was like, all right, look, I'll get into it. I'll learn a bit more about it, and the more I've learned about it, the more I'm like, yo, I'm actually pretty excited. The idea of like skins, the idea of just shit, things like that. I'm like, oh man, it seems pretty cool, and I think I'm kind of leaning towards the same thing now of where I think the FOMO is real that we think that the second one's going to shoot up. But I also think that's just the reality. I think this is the opportunity right now to get in while it's cheap, because all the land that's popping out everywhere that we see, all of that's like 5xing, like 10xing, and it's just, do we really think that the second batch of land is going to be cheaper than the first? It might be. It could be. I just can't see it playing out that way. Mm-hmm. I don't see it playing out that way. It could play out that way. I just don't see it happening.
What you got to think about is that if you don't get land in this first land sale and you stake all of that, then maybe by the time the second land sale comes, you have 10 or 20 ILV that you can claim for SILV2, and then you'll pretty much have those coins for free to buy the land.
Yeah.
So
with
the price appreciation too.
Correct. Yeah, and this is again, not official, nothing like that, but also possibly buy SILV from the open market. Like, it's cheap now. It's kind of like, why? Again, take away the risk and everything, but why wouldn't you? Right? If that's what you're looking for, you're pretty much doubling, tripling your purchasing power, like that, pretty much. So if that is what you're looking for, that is another option. I'll be straight again. That's what I did. I haven't claimed anything as SILV, but I've just dumped a bunch of cash into what is it, Uniswap to get SLV2, and now I'm hoping I'm ready for it.
That's the smart thing. That's probably the smartest thing you could do is put it in that. I guess I wanted to talk about something that's really interesting to me, that I hope they do this, but we'll have to see what they do. And I've actually talked to some gaming companies about doing this, but it doesn't seem like they're interested. Even if you have something that's really cool and you guys should jump on this, they're gonna wait till somebody else jumps on it, and then it's too late. But I want to talk about scholarships. There's one company, I won't mention the name, but what they're doing is they're having people put their NFTs inside their system, and it's kind of like a liquidation. Not a liquidation, but they're basically giving you profit for your NFT to trade with, and then if you give it back, then you get your NFT back. But scholarships is an interesting thing for me, and I'm hoping we also have scholarships for Illuvium 0. I don't know how that's going to work, but I'm just curious to know your guys' thoughts about scholarships. How do you think this is going to play out? Is it going to be a manual thing where we have to set it up with our guild, or will Illuvium, the DAO, create something inside the website itself for us to utilize the scholarship system? Now, if it does come to 0, that would be epic, because I could have a ton of lands and have people play on those lands and then flip those or whatever. But just for Illuvium, I feel that would be cool, but it's going to take a little bit more effort, a little more time, and it's really weird. But how do you guys feel about scholarships working, and do you think it'll be full-fledged where Illuvium's getting into it and helping produce this concept of scholarships?
Yeah, so I've made a handful of videos on scholarships, because that's one of the main things I'm going to be looking for to make some profits out of this game. When I got into Axie, I got into making scholarships, so that's where I started. With Axie, even up till now, it was all done like manually. Like, you make a separate wallet, you put the assets in the wallet, you give the scholar the username and password. And I think that's how it's going to work with Illuvium too. So they won't be able to make transactions because they won't have access to the wallet, but you'll give them a username and password so they can play the game. I also, even if Illuvium eventually makes an in-game program where you can lend out your assets to scholars. So even if Illuvium makes something in-game, it sounds like it would just be lending out your illuvials. But if you do it manually, like I plan on doing, you can put fuel and shards into an account so they can go in the open world and catch these illuvials.
Right.
I like that idea more, but it does take more work. So I think it takes more work. You'll get more out of it, but if you just wanted to be completely passive, and you could go with what some of those guilds are doing, where you just give out your assets and then get a return on it. I just think the return is going to be less if you do it that way. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
TSG?
I think the to begin with, I think it's going to be very manual, like you're saying. I think Illuvium, again, it makes sense for them to get into that side of things, to make it easier, to make it more I don't want to use the word centralized, but yeah, to make it more centralized and just convenient for everyone to use. I think, and safe, that's the word I'll use. They want to make it controlled and safe, right? Instead of being people like scamming out. So I think originally, like to start off, it's going to be manual. They're going to eventually work on things. I know Polemos has some stuff that they're working on. I think eventually there will come systems that make it all easy to use. I think that's definitely a thing. And yeah, I watch your videos, man, to learn about scholarships, because you're definitely that guy. So I think it's going to be a part of it. How it's going to be a part, I'm not too sure, but guaranteed people are working on systems already. And I don't think it's not going to be there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the final question. I did have a trivia question, but I think we'll save it for next time. The last question here is about, I guess, how do you guys see yourself playing Illuvium? Because there's a lot of factors we have to think about when we're playing the game, and also being a YouTuber. If you want to be tutorial based, how-to guy, teaching people about Illuvium, then I don't know if you could focus on grinding and playing a 24-hour stream or something like that. That's really that's really what I'm thinking about. Like, wow, I wonder if I just want to stream Illuvium and, just go out there and catch as many as I can and dedicate and focus on getting as much as I can and growing my catch list or whatever. Or do I just want to focus on the YouTube aspect and teach people about Illuvium, how you can get started and everything? How do you guys see yourself playing this game? Will you be in the overworld? Will you be more of a zero person, Illuvium 0? Will you be more of like a market guy just trying to flip stuff and get profit? There's so many ways you can play this game, and I'm so excited about it. This is why I feel it's going to blow up, because of how you can play this game. You don't just have to go out there and catch them. You could be like a businessman in this game and flip stuff and utilize the land. Oh my gosh, so much to think about. What do you guys see yourself? How you guys see yourself playing this game?
Do you want to go
Go
first, man?
first?
I
Yeah,
but
You
both being
go.
hella polite. Like you go first, man.
let's go TSG first. Let's go TSG first.
All right. Yo, honestly, that's actually really funny that you teed up this question because I'm actually today I'm gonna go live with a couple like two more channels. One it's called TSG Stream Archives, and a second one which is gonna be like TSG Plays or something. So one channel I'm just gonna like put out like my hour-long streams, 2 hour-long streams, and the other one I'm gonna like curate like the best parts of those streams and put it in there. And then my original channel is gonna be like tutorials and information, things like that. So I want to do everything really. Like I want to have times where I just can grind it out for 2 3 hours, take that and put it on
Man,
one channel,
man, you're a
and then
madman.
now I don't know. It just makes sense to me, right? Because I want to do it
hey,
all.
much
Like,
respect to you, man. But whoa,
yeah,
I want that too for myself. I'm like, man, how can I
yeah.
do this? Because there's so much you
I
can
think just
do.
do it.
Yeah,
I just
just do
think
it.
do it. Like it's not. I don't just like again, man. Life isn't meant to be easy. I don't think so. It's fun, right? Like figure it out. Like it'll be fun because that's what I'm doing now. Like legitimately, the stream thing. You have it for an hour, 2 hours. That's easy. You just don't edit anything. You just cut out the start and the end and put it down there. The other one, you kind of just you know already what's the interesting parts. Take it out, make it a 15-minute video. In one stream, you can have like 4 or 5 videos out of there. Like repurpose that and then just do your normal thing on your normal channel. Like it doesn't seem like it's that much effort. To me anyway, it doesn't seem like it's too
and then my
crazy.
girl's walking out the door. She'll never see me again. Baby, come back.
Yeah,
No.
honestly, yeah, I'm grateful for my wife. She's legit. It's 6 a.m. right? My wife's sleeping there. She's got work today. She's like super supportive. But yeah, nah, you can. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to do it all because I want to grind it. I want to do the information stuff. But yeah, and actually, yeah, I'm actually gonna put those channels out live today. So appreciate you teeing that one up.
Good. Awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Najee.
So I wish I could do that. You know, I still currently have a full-time job. You know, I got a 6-year-old daughter. So
Yeah.
spending all that time in the game, honestly, is just unrealistic for me right now. But I've thought a lot about this. I'm definitely gonna, you know, dabble into a little bit of everything. I'm really gonna utilize the scholarship side of things to really do the grinding, like for me, if you think about it that way. I'm gonna go into the overworld just to check it out, but I think I'm gonna be more into the competitive, you know, hopefully Leviathan Arena, maybe, you know, winning some wagers there. But I'm gonna use scholarships to grind the overworld and catch these illuvials. And, you know, I'll take, you know, extract what I want from there, maybe sell some, buy some, basically build up a good team without having to just buy them straight off the market. So it's really just, yeah, like using scholars to do the grinding for me. If you think about it that way, you know, obviously, I'm going to pay them fairly. They're going to make something out of it with no risk. I'm going to be the one taking all the risk. But that's kind of how I plan to do things. I want to be as competitive as possible. You know, we'll see how that works. But that's what drives me in a game, and that's what's going to keep me around, you know, long. You know.
Yeah.
And then I'll make content around, you know, everything that I do.
Yeah.
A little bit of everything.
I think speculation here. Don't know if this is going to happen or not, but it would be nice or interesting to see happen. I think if people actually like do this as a part-time thing, and then this starts paying more than their job, or, you know, this becomes more successful than they thought it would, and they just, you know, up and quit their job because of this, that's going to be epic, because that's kind of what I did with mine. I started, you know, YouTubing and mobile gaming, and that was doing better than my job. I'm like, you know, I just do this full time. I think that maybe not everyone's going to be a YouTuber, but I think a lot of people are going to be, you know, casual gamers where they see the benefit of this, and they're going to be like, wow, you know what, I need to spend more time in this. But gentlemen, if you have any last final words.
What's yours, man? What's yours? How are you gonna play it? You just left.
So
out on that question.
this is all dependent on the rev divs. This is dependent on the rev divs. If this is like a nice amount of rev divs that we're getting from going out there or going into PvP or PvE or whatever it is, if it's enough and this is sustainable and I can see the longevity of this, I think I would transition from a tutorial base to a streamer on YouTube.
Yeah.
Just because I want to be in there getting as much as I can with the time that I have, because I work from home. So if I'm working from home and I have all this time to get in there and play the game, I want to, utilize that. Whereas, I will be doing the tutorial thing from, for a little bit. But if I see the rev diz really kicking in, I'm like, wow, this is amazing. I got to do this, 100% of my time I got to dedicate to going out there into the overworld and catching stuff and flipping it. We'll have to see, but it's all dependent on the rev diz, how Illuvium, redistributes everything back to us, the gamers, and to the YouTube, everything. That's how I see it going. So I'm just really amazed to be here with Illuvium just starting out. I think we're super early, and this is just an exciting time for everyone.
Yeah, I think we're in like such a good position, especially if we're putting out content and kind of building ourselves. So when people do catch on and we've got like a library of content already, like people can actually dive in deep into who we are and the stuff that we talk about, and it's easier for them to buy into us instead of just having kind of like one video. Because if you just come up with one video and like no one's gonna like, you can't be their favorite Illuvium content creator with one video. You know what I mean? That's the way I look at it. But if you have 100 and someone finds you, it's very easy for them to just go down the rabbit hole and be like, yo, this guy is sick. Yeah. So that's my thought process, why I've been pumping so much out.
Okay. I'll just do that. I'll do the trivia question real quick. We'll end it on this.
Let's go.
Just a trivia question. Can you name all 6 of the fuel sources?
No chance.
Carbon. There's like Hyperions, saloons. What did I say? Did I say carbon? Hydrogen. Is that 4?
Yeah, that's 4.
Helium? Is helium one of them?
Yo, Atlas talking in a squeaky voice.
See, I think this is like the genre that some of us YouTubers have to get into, like the teaching aspect. I'll just help you guys. There's 3. There's 3 I believe that's for 0, and then 3 that are for the Illuvium game, like the overworld and everything.
3 elements.
3 for 0, 3 for the overworld. Hydrogen. Yeah. Hold on, now I'm messing up. You guys made me mess up now. Hydrogen, carbon, solon.
Yeah.
And then that's the 3. That's the 3 right there for the 0. Now you flip it over. Solon becomes silicon, right? And then Hyperion, and then Krypton. I always think of like Kryptonite as the last one, the green one.
Krypton? It's actually called Krypton?
Krypton.
Yeah, that's wild.
Oh, and it's green too. Right? It's green. It looks like gems. It's like kryptonite. So I'm just like Krypton. It's the I think, man, if you guys get some Krypton in your land, you're set to go, because I think it's like the best thing, right? You can use it for teleportation and traveling. And so I think, Krypton's gonna be the deal. But I thought that was pretty fun. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. If you have any last words, go ahead. But it's been an awesome stream and an awesome, interview with you guys, and I hope we could do this again, maybe even live stream when the land goes live. I'll have you guys on and we can give our our expertise or our take on where we see the price going and when we're going to buy in, and just speculate for people that are viewing. So thank you guys so much for coming on, and hopefully we could do this again.
Yeah, 100%, man.
Thanks for having me.